Just 2 days after free agency opens, we're seeing Brad Treliving and the Toronto Maple Leafs landscape completely changing for the better. And we also see Treliving pick someone up that's going to make an instant impact and be an absolute gem. We'll get into this later on this episode. Before I start, I just want to give out a shout out to the 3,755 of you guys. We're trying to reach 4,000 by Sunday. I'm going to set the goal there. I know you guys can smash it. So make sure to go down and hit the subscribe button, as we'll be covering everything to do with the NHL all offseason into next season, and you'll never want to miss another episode. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Anthony Stolarz changes everything. Now, obviously, Anthony Stolarz, everyone knows this signing. Everyone knows Anthony Stolarz is a good goalie, but we're going to really break down how this changes everything for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Last year, Anthony Stolarz obviously went 16-7 throughout the regular season. You can see his GAA, his save percentage, everything was outstanding, but taking a further dive, he ranks number 1 in 25 minimum games played by goaltenders in goals against average with a 2.03. He also ranks number 1 in save percentage over the span with a 925 save percentage. So when you're looking at Anthony Stolarz, a lot of people are thinking, hey, this is Joseph Woll's backup, but I think it's a lot bigger than that. We're seeing a competition between Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz going into next season, and I think they're going to be battling on who the starting goaltender is. And KC, just looking at Stolarz, looking at how he produced on Florida, winning a Stanley Cup, what do you think he can do for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah, he's definitely going to make an instant impact. I mean, it's always nice to have some, competitiveness in the crease. Each goalie is going to try to make the best of their starts to try to be that number one guy here in Toronto. And I think this is really going to benefit Woll as well as Stolarz, because you don't want a new guy to come in if you're Woll and just steal your thunder. But if you're Stolarz, you're the new guy coming in, you have that extra edge. You know how big Toronto is, how big the media is. You want to show how good of a signing this was. And I think having this competitiveness between goaltenders is definitely good. And I think towards, the middle of this season, we will see Toronto start to go with that two tandem rotation that a lot of teams are adapting.
And the biggest thing is you're looking at Stolarz with the highest the lowest GAA, but number 1 ranking in GAA and save percentage in the entire league. And looking at the guys behind him, Sergei Bobrovsky, Connor Hellebuyck, Thatcher Demko, these were the 3 finalists for the Vezina Trophy just this past season. So he's an elite company. Obviously, the guys below him were playing more games than him. But Anthony Stolarz is going to come in and just be so impactful for the Toronto Maple Leafs team. And if a guy like Joseph Woll goes down, I don't know if he's ever going to give up the starting spot with how he's been playing. Now, this is not the only thing with Stolarz, and we're seeing this Leafs team. Obviously, Joseph Woll is still on this team and looks like to be the starting goaltender. We still have a guy like Matt Murray that came back on a 1-year contract as that third option that Martin Jones did. And when you're looking at bringing in just the perfect contract at $2.5 million, this is a position that a lot of teams are looking for. Getting a guy like Stolarz in on this type of deal is outstanding, and I think it's just the start of how we're going to see Brad Treliving work. And the biggest thing is we still have goaltending depth. Obviously, Dennis Hildeby, the Hildebeest, is going to be the one headlining the AHL goalies into the minors and a possible backup goaltender for the Leafs. But overall, just looking at the goaltenders as a whole, are you comfortable with how Brad Treliving's putting the Leafs in next season with the goaltenders between the pipes?
Yeah, 100%. This seems like a, prove yourself kind of contract to Stolarz, saying, hey, we're going to give you 2.5 for 2 seasons. And then, if you prove that you're worth it, I mean, the money's just going to go up from there. And I think this is a great contract for Toronto. And I think they have a very bright goaltending future with Joseph Woll, obviously being that number 1 guy, is projected to be that number 1 guy with the contract that he got, or just got this offseason. So I think we're going to see a lot of improvement from both of these goaltenders this year. But like you said, keep an eye to the Marlies, because Hildebeest is coming, and I think he is the best goalie in the system right now.
And the biggest thing is, too, is obviously the 2-year contract. This could be either a prove yourself contract or the perfect contract to kind of have like that stopover, the layover, waiting for Hill to be getting into that position to be a backup goaltender. Either way, Brad Treliving has been cooking. And what's your guys' thoughts on the Stolarz signing? Could you see him maybe stealing the show from a guy like Joseph Woll? What's your thoughts on how he will play this season? And how many wins do you think he'll get for the Toronto Maple Leafs? But Brad does continue on, and he's really changing the landscape of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So when you do look at this team, and we've talked about it before, obviously the forwards, Brad Treliving's still trying to figure out. There's trade rumors, there's rumors of players being moved, things getting switched around, signings, but Brad Treliving is changing the defense. You're looking through this list, a guy like Chris Tanev, big, tall, physical defenseman. You look at a guy like Jake McCabe that was here last season, still a physical defenseman. Yanni Hakanpää, a guy that's coming in at 6'7". It doesn't stop there either. You've seen a guy like Cale Weber get picked up last season, still on the roster. And you're looking through in the minors as well, and a guy like Philip Myers, 6'7". Brad Treliving is changing the impact on the defensive end. And Casey, what's your thoughts on bringing in these big, hard, mean defensemen to play against?
Yeah, I love it. I love that style of hockey. I love a good defensive defenseman because at the end of the day, those guys, they might not be the most popular guys in the league, but you need guys like that to win in the NHL. You need guys like that to win a Stanley Cup. And Brad bringing these guys in is huge because this is something, that Toronto has needed for a very long time, and I'm excited to see it start working once the preseason comes and rolling into the regular season. And I just want to bring this up, Mark. One thing that I've seen, a lot in our comment section was, Leafs fans, kind of, infuriated by this, like saying, yeah, we're just adding a few, changes on the blue line and running it back with the same roster. That's not going to work. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. I mean, you can't compare last year's team to this year's team because the blue line, yes, and there is some familiar names, but there are brand new guys here that want to win a cup for Toronto. We've seen Tanev say that he wants to win. He's going to do everything to win. So like it just doesn't make sense. I understand the frustration with seeing it go year to year, first round, second round exit, whatever it may be, but this is a completely different vibe of a Toronto team that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is a lot of people looked at last year's roster and they're looking at guys that stood out in the playoffs. You're looking at guys like Ilya Lyubushkin, Joel Edmondson. These are two physical defensemen, and you're bringing in upgrades, in my opinion, on guys like Chris Tanev being an upgrade on Lyubushkin by miles. You're seeing Yanni Hakanpää, depending on the situation that's happening, another upgrade on a guy like Joel Edmondson. The Leafs are bringing in this style of players that helped them make that 7-game push against the Boston Bruins. They brought in better talent. They're helping on the back end and guys where you bring in OEL to help get out of the zone when you need to move the puck, to quarterback the power play. Brad Treliving seen what helped this Toronto Maple Leafs team last year, and he's going out and picking up the options that are complete upgrades on it. But what's your guys' thoughts on this? Do you like the way Brad Treliving's changed in this team? Do you like the way that he's trying to bring in this toughness, this roughness, and still trying to fill out the rest of the team with depth signings with more size? Let us know down in the comments. But speaking in the comments, we'll get into everyone's favorite topic, comment of the day, which might have got spoiled because I clicked on it by mistake. But Braun Snake said, "Boys, you nailed the captaincy foolishness. Nuff said, go 4,000. Like I said, we're trying to reach 4,000 subscribers, and we're trying to reach it by Sunday. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We're going to be all off-season giving you updates from all around the league. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to go down and leave a like and comment and share this with your friends. You could be on the next episode, like Braun Snake did today as comment today. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, with my co-host, KC, and take care.